Hello everyone, I'm Gabriel and this is the Rise Atlantis show. Today is Friday, March 9th, 2018. The topic today will be about sky trumpets, also as well as loud booms people are hearing in the sky. Now I think it was in 2009, war drums. And it sounded like right next to me, it didn't sound like far away, and it was very low. And it would sound like war drums. It went and it just kept going like that. And I think it must have went at least 40 seconds to about a good minute. But it was very low. I could barely hear it. But it sounded like it was right next to me. So those war drums, I think, is North Korea and Russia. North Korea is saying they're willing to make peace, but I think they're just trying to buy more time for the nuclear bombs. They've done it before, and they're doing it again now. So now we're going to get into the news. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. The first news story is, let's see. Mysterious disappearance and strange reappearance of Dr. William Horatio Bates. Now he was let's see here, 1902. He disappeared on August 30th. He was a doctor. He was an ophthalmologist. Don't know what that is. Something about orthopedic or opto. Opto means sounds like the eyes. And from what it's saying on the top here, it's saying strengthening the eyes. Yeah, so opto is an optometrist basically. And let's see here. They went missing. He was a wealthy man. Let's see here. He didn't come home one night and didn't write to say where he had gone. And let's see here. After several days, I think he resurfaced. I'm not sure. When he was found again, he was very skinny, close to death. His eyes were deeply sunken in, and it was for a couple years he went missing. So he said he couldn't remember where he was that whole time, and it's what people say when they've been abducted also by aliens. They say that they don't have any memory of time at all. So, I mean, in 1902, it's very strange for them to be hoaxing stuff like that at that time. Because hoaxes weren't that common back then. Now hoaxes are everywhere. It's a bad thing about UFOs on the internet. We really don't know what's real. We hope a lot of stuff is real, you know. Next story. Loyal dog refuses to leave hospital where owner died 4 months ago. You hear this a lot. They have memory. It's weird. You can remove a dog from a location that it knows, and then put the dog somewhere else, and it'll still find its way back. Like it has like a GPS embedded in its brain. And it's weird. It's very weird. So, we hear stories of this all the time. But it's weird how they can find their way back if they don't even know where to go. It's very weird. Next story. Cosmic ray radiation is dangerous and getting worse as sun is often spotless. So, I didn't know that. The more the sun is spotless, the more it emits radiation. And the solar flares that come to Earth are going to be way more dangerous. And that includes UV radiation. That means we're going to get more sunburn this year. Skin cancer is going to be worse this year. That's why you have to put sunscreen on. Because if you don't, skin cancer will happen quick. Imagine if you're getting tan like every day without sunscreen. It just makes skin cancer rapidly come on faster. So we want to prevent skin cancer. And people laugh and say, oh, it's only going to affect them when they're 80 years old. It isn't true. The more you don't protect your skin in the sun from not being burned, is the more faster skin cancer could get you. And if you get sunburned every day without not suntan cream. It's not sunburn free cream. What's it? I forgot what it's called. Suntan cream. No, suntan is where you want to tan. I forgot what it's called. UV protection, basically. Can't believe I forgot what the word was called. But yeah, the more we don't use UV blocking, the more we don't use UV blocking cream, is the more it can really get you. You can really die seriously, like at 56 years old, if you keep getting sunburned every day without using UV protection cream. So it's very serious. A lot of people see it as, being sunburned is not a very serious thing. Skin cancer is a very serious thing, and it could kill at 56 years old. Freedom-seeking Iranian women defy Islamic law by removing headscarves. Isn't it weird how all this time they've forced the burkas on them? So, it's bad. Places like there, if they try to remove the burkas, they could get killed. So, women are being very persecuted in the Middle East. Next story. Young Wrinkle in Time star actress gives praise to God, God's will, God's way, God's time. Now, people are bashing this movie because they're saying that it's cheesy storyline. Man. The storyline is very rapture themed, about the rapture. This movie looks very awesome. So I give this movie 2 thumbs up, man. I can't wait to see it. It came out today, but I'm going to see it on Tuesday. Next story. Next story is U.S. hiring surge. Employers add 313,000 jobs in February as tax cut confidence booms. And I also heard that they're going to raise the minimum wage from $8 to $12 an hour, which is good. That means more people will buy from me. I work in sales, so the more money people have, that's better. The more money they're willing to spend. So I think it's a good thing, Let's see, next story. Gunman takes 3 hostages at veterans' home in Youngville, California, the sheriff says. Now you hear a lot about this on the news, people targeting veteran centers. And supposedly some people say they do it to protest that they're getting poor treatment from the veteran clinics. Then again, you get the crazy homegrown terrorists, they're not even Muslim, they're Caucasian, and a lot of people are doing shootings lately. I wonder why. You rarely hear of Mexican black people. I'm sure it does happen, but it seems a lot of Caucasian people are doing these shootings because they see themselves as, they're neo-Nazis, they're white supremacists, so they're seeing a lot of that coming out. Michael Cohen says he used his own home equity loan. He used his own home equity line for Stormy Daniels' payment, which means he refinanced out his house and used a lot of his own equity that he had saved up to pay for that, to pay for Trump. Well, was Trump going to reimburse him? I mean, this is weird. Why would a lawyer almost go completely broke to help the president? I guess he sees, well, if he stays on as Trump's president, he'll make the money back. I mean, that's crazy, you know. So he could go to prison for that. Because the lawyer isn't supposed to be the one that's supposed to be paying for everything. NRA sues Florida to block part of new gun law. Can you believe the NRA is suing the state of Florida? You know? There's bad people in the NRA. They need to be removed. Next story. Okay. Florida lawmaker snubs teens on gun control. And he's telling them, if you want action, make the laws yourselves. Can you believe this? Florida lawmakers are telling teens this. If you want action, make the laws yourself. How can they? It's the lawmakers that are doing it. You see, there's a lot of evil. These politicians, man, they work for us. We don't work for them. Toys R Us could go out of business next week. I never thought that would happen, man. And you know, that's a sign of more things to come. More companies are going to be going out of business also. Next story. It's loaded. 14-year-old impersonated deputy. Can you believe a 14-year-old kid was dressed as a cop? And what was he trying to do? It doesn't really say. It was just doing it as a prank. Can you believe it? That's a big crime, man. To impersonate a cop. And even at that age, man, 14, he could be doing some serious time in juvie, man. He'd be doing 3-4 years, man. Martin Skreli sentenced to 7 years in prison for fraud. Now, you know, he's so rich, he's gonna buy the most luxurious cell over there. He's gonna have the most posh prison cell in the world. You know, he's gonna have everything, the whole 9 yards. It's gonna be a luxury prison for him, you know. And I bet his time's gonna be reduced 7 years to maybe 3 or 4. And they're probably gonna say for good behavior. Watch, I bet you, man. He defrauded investors out of more than $10 million. But since they have so much money and power, he's going to get his time reduced and he's going to have the fanciest jail cell. I bet you, man. Next story. Thousands may have been exposed to mumps at a national cheerleading contest. Mumps. Now, what is mumps? Mumps is kind of like the measles, the flu, something flu related. Mumps to me, when I think, sounds like measles. What is it? Mumps and measles. It sounds like weasels. That's a funny word. They affected a lot of coaches. More than 25,000 people were athletes and coaches affected. Can you believe it? More than 25,000 people got sick from the mumps. And what are the mumps? It's a virus, shortest possible incubation period since the time. It doesn't really say what it does. I mean, it don't sound good, right? It causes a swollen, tender salivary glands, swollen and low-grade fever, tiredness, and muscle aches. So it sounds kind of like the flu, but you get swelled up a lot everywhere also. Most likely throwing up a lot also. That's crazy. Next story. Let's see. North Carolina police officer faces charges after beating, choking, and tasing suspected jaywalker. Can you believe it? Over a jaywalker, man. I mean, just write them a ticket, that's it. And even then, the ticket should be reduced to hardly anything, because jaywalking isn't that bad of a crime. I mean, yeah, it can make people crash and swerve and all other things, but people are supposed to be driving slow in certain areas also. So, you know, jaywalking is not that bad of a thing. The cop didn't have to beat him, choke him, and tase him. So of course it's way too far. That's way too what's the word called? Not just aggravated assault, but way too uncalled for, basically. I mean, thank God he didn't kill a person, but you can't beat them up and tase them and all that also. Next story. A sheriff's deputy had his ex-wife arrested because he didn't like what she wrote about him on Facebook. Now, arrested? How much time did he give her? It's just crazy because you hear the, defamation of character is like a law they really want to push more. That's what the celebrities are doing against the paparazzi. Defamation of character, writing fake stories about them. Without people's permission, slanderizing people. I agree with that. They shouldn't be slanderizing people. They shouldn't be gossiping about people online. I mean, you see it all the time, Facebook and Twitter, people talking about their ex-boyfriends or ex-girlfriends. I mean, it's really hard to stop against that when people break up in a divorce and they start talking about each other. It's very hard to stop that. But if it goes to the point of slanderizing people, of course death threats is off limits. You know, you never make death threats to anyone. But if even you're making up lies and I really don't know how to say it. If you're really slanderizing people too much to the point where it's too extreme, then there should be some kind of karma to pay for it, you know? But at the same time, people say it violates freedom of speech, so it goes both ways. Didn't say what she was saying about him on Facebook. Let's see here. She was held behind bars for a few hours, 2015, after bad-mouthing King's ex-husband. King is suing her ex and his colleague for violating her constitutional rights. Let's see here. You know, these cops and deputies and all, it seems they're getting so, they feel they're so above power that they can do whatever they want. It's not right. You know, people are going to talk. People love gossiping, spreading rumors, and they love slanderizing people. But at what point does it become too much? That's the question. It's really hard to decide at what point it becomes, for people to be talking bad about people, at what point does it become criminal? Next story, Trump getting a parade but without tanks. Down Pennsylvania Avenue. So he's getting a parade but no tanks. Let's see here. And the last story. Which is also getting to the topic of the day. And my phone is freezing. As you can tell, I'm really controlling the cough better. I was sick about a week ago. But I have coughs time to time from an ulcer. But I really believe I really am keeping the cough under control now. So that's good. I don't want to be coughing all the time. I was thinking, oh man, people are gonna think I'm a heavy smoker or something. I don't smoke marijuana and don't smoke cigarettes. You know, and when I did smoke cigarettes a long time ago, like 8 years, I smoked very little and I wouldn't inhale. So I would just smoke for the flavor, but I don't smoke at all. I last stopped smoking about maybe 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago. So, you know, I know that's what now with the coffee is. It's from the ulcer. It seems the ulcer is getting better, it's getting worse. I don't know. Medicine, it seems to just masks it. It doesn't really fix the problem. So, it's a constant thing I have to deal with every day. And now's the best time to mute the music. Mute the music. Okay, this will be the topic of the day. No wait, this is the wrong one here. Okay. Mysterious bursts of light, loud booms, and sky trumpets. Sky trumpets. That's the topic of the day. Mysterious bursts of light, loud booms, and sky trumpets puzzle Washington State residents. So have you all ever heard of have you all ever heard sky trumpets or loud booms in the sky, or any other kinds of rumblings or anything like that, or even war drums like I've heard? Have any of y'all out there heard anything like this? I've never heard sky trumpets, and I would love to hear them, because I believe when we see Jesus returning, they may be playing the trumpets, and we will be hearing that. So it's very exciting stuff, man. The rapture is so exciting. It's the most futuristic event ever. We're all about to transcend to perfection. You know, we're all about to become so futurized, man. I'm telling you, we're about to go light speed, light years into the future. It's so exciting. So let's see here. Let's see here. Loud booms or startling residences. Didn't say what time it happened. Imagine hearing this in the middle of the night, waking you up like 2 or 4 in the morning. Be crazy, right? I mean, I like to hear it before I go to sleep, you know, instead of it waking you up in the middle of the night. Imagine waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, hearing loud trumpets in the sky. You go outside and like, where is this coming from? That's got to be something, right? But I don't think we'll be hearing those at that time of the day. I mean, who knows? Maybe God may try to reach the lost, like the people who love to party, the night owls. It's okay to, you know, Friday or Saturday to go out, and, you know, come back at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's okay. But don't live every day like that, every single day, you know. The party lifestyle really gets crazy. Once you start hanging around people that ain't good, all the drug dealers and drug addicts, and you start hanging around all the crime and stuff, man, that is why there's the bad side to the party life. Why can't people live the party life and not use drugs? Why can't people live the party life and not go into crime? It just boggles my mind, man. You know? So, maybe God will send these signs of the sounds in the sky at these hours to reach the lost, the worldly people. So, you know, I hope and pray to God that more of these sounds keep coming from the sky. And I would love to hear sky trumpets soon. I heard war drums. I could have sworn I might have heard booms in the sky, but I can't really remember for certain. But I would love to hear sky trumpets. Now people can say, oh, it could be HARP and this and that, and Project Bluebeam and the government, and they're using these sound waves and throwing it here and there. And I mean, we're living at a time where we don't know what to believe anymore. We're living at a time where we think everything could be a hoax. Imagine how it would have been back then, before they had aircraft, and they would see these UFOs and they would be so startled because no airplane ever existed. You know, and now it's like the norm. People see UFOs and they're unfazed. They say, oh, drones, you know. So I hope God shows us greater science than the basic UFOs. I hope God can appear in the clouds, have angels appear in the clouds, even at night with illuminated clouds, like what's been happening, the cloud of the cross in Russia that illuminated, and the other one happened, where was it at? I think the second cross of light. I don't think that I've heard of a third or fourth one, but the second one was in. I know the first was in Russia. Second one was in. No, it wasn't in Istanbul. It was something like that. I can't really remember right now. It might have been somewhere near Russia. So these loud booms are shaking the ground. Also, they look and sound like earthquakes, but they're not. The booms are coming from the sky, but yet the earth is shaking. But they're saying they are not earthquakes. The seismology tests are reading 0 earthquakes, but yet it's still shaking, so it's weird. Speaking of rare earthquakes, here in El Paso, they said, was it last Tuesday? We received the first earthquake in 60 years. And 60 years ago was only one time very low also, so this is weird. It said in the Bible there will be earthquakes in various places, and even places that are very uncommon, very rare. So this earthquake was about, I think, like 2 or 3.0. It wasn't big, but it did happen on the east side of El Paso. The east side of El Paso. Now they said, I think like 10 years ago, there was one, but it was 65 miles south of El Paso. That's pretty far. That's by Van Horn, Texas, you know. So it's pretty weird. We had the first earthquake in over 60 years. And even then, the one 60 years ago was only one time also. And I think before that's never happened. So it's weird, man. We never get earthquakes. And then all of a sudden this, you know. It's exciting because it happened on 8/11. And usually when I start the show, it's like at 8:05, 8:10. So it's weird. It happened at the same time when I start the show. I usually try to start at 8 every day, but now that time change and everything, and I'm not able to go live until 3 more months, you know, it really affected a whole lot. So, you know, it's not uploaded till around 9 o'clock, maybe 9:30. On the East Coast, it would be, 10:30, almost 11, so everything's all changing, man. Things keep changing, you know. And I wish it wouldn't change all the time. So we'll go ahead and end it right there and do a couple of EVPs. And then we'll end out the show. Now EVP stands for Electronic Voice Phenomenon. You pick up ghosts through the audio recorders, through the apps on the phones. And you record it in silence and it reads it back. So now we'll go ahead and cram in 3 EVPs. Alright. Dear Lord Jesus, Lord God, please let you or your angels speak through the apps on the phone at this moment. Hallelujah, Lord. We're starting to pray every time we do it, so it can let Christians know that this is not deception, this is not occultism. If it's done for God, there's nothing wrong with it. Let's see here. Like, I don't even get into magic because magic is all trickery. It's all fakery. The only magic I believe are the apparitions that God shows. So now we'll go ahead and do 3 EVPs. Okay, on this phone we have the words, be prepared to do what you're never unsure of and facts. Be prepared to do what you're never unsure of and facts. I don't know what this means here. So it's telling me to be prepared to do something, but of never certain facts. False facts, maybe? Never false facts. So it's telling me to be prepared to do something. Well, I do want to summon in front of large amounts of people soon in El Paso. But I gotta build the the gathering up first. You know, I've said so many times, I posted on Craigslist to say, hey, I'm looking for people to help me summon apparitions from God, and they all see it like, oh, I'm crazy, and they never want to help me. They will never want to meet me and gather in large amounts, you know. And the times when I publicly summon at random for people, nothing happens. So it gets to me, man, you know. And I feel I need to build an organization first. I need to build a following, a movement first. And so many times on Craigslist and I get no response. So maybe I'll try a meetup group soon. I had to start my own meetup group. I need to have a little bit more money to pay into that, you know. So hopefully I could get it going, you know. I wish I could make it happen like this, but it seems to take time. And I hate waiting because I've waited so long. For everything. I waited so long for so many things, man. This phone, I have the words Hara, H-A-R-A, and ledger, spoil, unself, andover, raising, bopple, pretending, insurance. So there is a Hara. It's weird because Hara sounds like Hera, and Hara Carey. Harry Carey, and means suicide. That's what they say in Japan, Harry Carey, you know, so that's weird. And ledger, that means what? Accounting, ledger, documents, or something, some kind of documents. A spoil, something's gonna spoil. Unself, and over, something is raising. Or bopple, couple. Maybe bopple meant to say couple. Pretending insurance. So I don't know what all this means here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do two more. This one's weird. It's telling me that prepare to do some things and false facts, and that's weird. Five, four, three, two, one. This one says, "Don't be upset, Rin," or "Rin, don't be upset," or "Don't be Rin upset." I don't know, something like that. Rin. What does the Rin mean? Alright. This one says fusing, mellow, spirit, and toneo. So something is fusing a mellow. Sounds like marrow, maybe, like bone marrow. Or something is fusing mellow. A mellow spirit. Fusing toneo. I don't know what that means. This one says, don't be upset. You know, I really don't have any anger. I really control all my anger. I used to have a lot of anger before over the years, but now I've really controlled my anger. I mean, it's a natural emotion. When people get us angry, you know, we get angry, but us being godly people, we need to just let our anger flow away, man, you know? And last one. This phone says maybe untangle complicated this is, what is it saying? Untangle complicated wait. Untangle on loved ones could get complicated close relationship. I don't know what this means here. So it's saying something like untangle could it mean stay away from friends who are no good? Yeah, I've already done that. Could it mean certain friends I know, things may get crazy, with some kind of drama be coming up in people I know? I think that's what it's saying there. So that's weird. Okay, and on this phone we have the words bromoil, demon, opus, wadding, bamboo. So bromoil, something boiling maybe, and the demons are boiling in hell, and the opus, there's like opus dei. What was it? Opus means like it's Greek mythology, I think. Opus dei, something like that. So opus waddling through bamboo forest maybe. It's weird. So the demons are burning in hell, but Greek mythology is waddling through the bamboo forest. Could that maybe be saying Greek mythology is coming back through hybriding, half human, half animal hybriding? I think that's what it's saying here. So I believe I've gotten a connection there to hybrids. I think that right there was talking about hybriding. Half human, half animal DNA. That's weird, right? Opus is waddling through the bamboo forest while the demons are boiling in hell. So I think that's saying, it's talking about hybrids, half human, half animal hybrids. And this one's telling me that there could be drama coming up in people I know, so it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. So we'll go ahead and end it there on that note. Please like, share, subscribe. Please tell everyone you know to like, share, and subscribe as well. I really need your help. I really need to reach 1,000 subscribers so I can Start to monetize the videos. Thank you. Good night. God bless.